Hello students, now let us begin with the new lesson, that is chapter 4, named as Ancient Civilization. We are going to study about few civilizations like Mesopotamian civilization and then Egyptian civilization, and also we are going to study about Chinese civilization in this session. That is about see, like for our daily life to survive, what is necessary or what is inevitable, or what we can say as what is unavoidable, like food, water and air, light, they are unavoidable in our life. We cannot live our life without it, right? The same way now even shelter and clothing are also two most important factors of our life. What happens is how the Egyptian civilization has come or how the other civilization has came into existence. We are going to study that in this chapter. What they have given actually: food, water, air and light are inevitable for any life to survive. See, food, water, air and light, they are unavoidable. We cannot live our life without it. Similarly, shelter and clothing also are the basic necessities of mankind. What happened? Even the shelter and clothing, they are the basic needs of we human beings. Generally, we can get water and favorable weather conditions on the banks of the rivers for leading life. Generally, like we have studied earlier also, where is life favorable? Wherever we find all the necessities, and especially where we find water, and the life exists or starts especially on the banks of the river. We get their favorable nature, environment as well as water. So, the prehistoric people settled on the banks of rivers and later civilization prospered there. See, while studying the last chapter we have studied those people of prehistoric period, they started living on the banks of the river so that they get necessary things, and from that time then we studied or human race started growing, civilization started. Hence, the river banks became the cradles of ancient civilizations. What happens? Hence, the river banks, they became the stepping stone, or from there actually the civilization started. So many types of civilizations we see. What are those? Egyptian civilization on the banks of river Nile, and Mesopotamian civilization on the bank of Euphrates and Tigris, Chinese civilization on the banks of Hongho and Yongs, and Sri Saikang and Harappan civilization on the banks of what? Banks of river Indus. Banks of Indus. These all came into existence. What they have given? Egyptian civilization on the banks of Nile, Mesopotamian civilization on the banks of Euphrates and Tigris, Chinese civilization on the banks of Hangzhou, Yongs and Saikyang and Harappan civilization on the banks of Indus came into existence. That is, all the civilizations came into existence on the banks of the river. Let us now study about Egyptian civilization. What actually happened? Egypt is the first civilization of the ancient world. See, whatever the ancient world is or whatever the history comes, in that which is the first civilization? Egypt is the first civilization of the ancient world. This civilization took birth on the banks of river Nile. Where did this Egyptian civilization take place? Took birth? Its birthplace is on the banks of river Nile. Egypt is the first civilization on the ancient world. This civilization took birth on the banks of river Nile. The Nile is regarded as the longest river in the world. See, Nile, what it is said? It is said that it is the longest river in the world, and it is a major north flowing river. The biggest north flowing river in Africa, which joins the Mediterranean Sea. Where does this river Nile join later? At the Mediterranean Sea. If the Nile had not flown through Egypt, it would have been a desert. Thus, Egypt is considered as the gift of Nile. Actually, what happens is, where the river Nile flows, one side of it is a desert. On the other part, we found a very huge wide variety of vegetation. That is why it is said that if river Nile would not have flown through Egypt, there would be a complete desert. That is why it is said that Egypt is considered as the gift of Nile. Because Egypt has taken birth because of the existence of river Nile, it is says that Egypt is the gift of river Nile. Next comes the political history of this Egyptian civilization. Egypt witnessed the rise of political dynasties about 5,400 years ago. See, when did this Egypt has witnessed the rise of political dynasties? It witnessed it about 5,400 years ago itself. The kings of Egypt were called pharaohs. See, what were the kings of Egypt called? They were called as pharaohs. Who was the first king or who was the first pharaohs? Menes was the first king or pharaohs of this Egyptian civilization. What was his capital? His capital was Memphis. Among all the pharaohs after Menes, Khufu, Amenhotep and Thomas were prominent. These three were the prominent pharaohs. The largest pyramid of Giza is called the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which was built by Khufu. See what happened? The largest pyramid of Giza. What it is called? It is called as Pyramid of Khufu. Who has built that pyramid? That pyramid is built by Khufu. Thomas I was the greatest conqueror among all the later pharaohs. Means what happened? This Thomas I, he was the one of the greatest conqueror among all these kings, among all these other pharaohs. His daughter, what is the name of his? That is the daughter of Thutmose. Her name is Hatshepsut, came to power after him. That is, after Thutmose I, who came into power, his daughter, the name of her daughter is Hatshepsut. She came into power and came to be known as the first empress of the world. She was the first empress not only of Egypt but of the entire world. Finally, about 2300 years ago, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt. See, finally after 2300 years ago, who conquered Egypt? Alexander the Great. He conquered Egypt. He appointed his military general Ptolemy as his representative. What happened? Alexander the Great, he appointed one more person named as Ptolemy as what? As his military general. Later, Ptolemy declared himself the king of Egypt. See, as time went on, Ptolemy, he himself declared that he became the king of Egypt and established what? He established Ptolemaic dynasty. The popular queen Cleopatra was the last ruler of this dynasty. Who was the last ruler of this Ptolemaic dynasty? The popular queen, her name is Cleopatra. She was the last ruler of this Ptolemaic dynasty. Eventually, Egypt became a province of Rome. Finally, what happened? Egypt, it became the administrative division of Rome. Next, let us look over the contributions of Egyptian civilization. What all Egyptian civilization has contributed. Barley, wheat and barley were the food crops of the people of Egypt. See what happened? Wheat and barley, they were the food crops of people of Egypt. The water of Nile was used for agriculture through canals. What they started doing? They started using the water of river Nile in the form of, they let that water into the canals and they started using it for the purpose of agriculture. The condition of slaves was very pathetic. See, the slaves who were working, the people who were working there, their condition was very low. They were living below the standard of living. It was very horrible for the slaves to live there. Their condition was very bad. The large pyramids were possible because of these slaves. See, we find so many large pyramids present there in the Egypt. Those all pyramids have been constructed by these slaves. Women were given important status in the society. See, during that Egyptian civilization, women, they had a very good status in that society. The people of Egypt believed in life after death, so they preserved the dead bodies. See, the people of Egypt, what they believed? They believed that there will be another life after the death. So what they used to do? Because they used to think, or because they had a thought that people are going to live even after the death, they preserved those dead bodies. And those preserved dead bodies were called as what? They were called as mummy. The people of Egypt believed in life after death, so they preserved the dead bodies. They started preserving the dead bodies. The preserved dead body was called mummy. Whatever the dead body they used to preserve, they named it, or they called it as mummy. In ancient Egypt, each city had its own guardian goddess. See, what used to happen in the ancient Egypt, in the older days of that Egypt, each city has its own guardian goddess, or each city has its own different guardian goddess. Sun and rivers were considered and worshipped as gods. See what used to happen again? They considered sun and they considered rivers as gods, and they worshipped sun and river. The Egyptian script is known as hieroglyphs, which means sacred writing. See, what is the script of Egypt called? It is called as hieroglyphics. What is the meaning of this hieroglyphics? It means sacred writing. They used ink to write on papyrus grass growing in river Nile. See, where they used to write? They used the ink to write on the grass. What kind of grass it was? It's called as papyrus grass. It was growing in the river Nile. They had enormous knowledge of geometry, which was used in building large pyramids. The people of Egypt, they had a very good knowledge of geometry, which they used in the construction of pyramids. The large statue of Sphinx is the most attractive Egyptian architecture. What happened? The biggest statue of this Sphinx, that is the most attractive Egyptian architect. Then what is this Sphinx? The Sphinx is an animal. What type of animal it is? With the body of lion and the head will be of a man. That statue is called as Sphinx. So students, this is all about the Egyptian civilization. Now let us go to another civilization. Its name is Mesopotamian civilization. So what we studied about Egyptian civilization? It took birth on the banks of river Nile, right? And then the rivers flowing, river Nile is the biggest river in the world, and then river flows and later lastly joins at what? Mediterranean Sea. And then we studied about political history that witnessed the rise of what? Around 5,400 years ago itself. And then what were the kings of Egypt called? They were called as pharaohs. Who was the first pharaoh? Who was the first king? Menes. He was the first king, and after that so many pharaohs came. Right? Now we are going to study about the next civilization. The civilization is the Mesopotamia or Mesopotamian civilization. Let us study one by one. What it is? Mesopotamian civilization flourished in the area that lies in between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern Iraq. So where did this Mesopotamian civilization grow? It grew or it grew in the areas that lie in between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in modern Iraq. We came to know that Mesopotamian civilization, it flourished where? It flourished in the areas that lies where? That lies in a valley between, that lies in a valley between which two valleys? Between the Tigris and one more is Euphrates rivers. Where do we find it? In modern Iraq. This is the place where Mesopotamian civilization grew or arose. In Greek, Mesopotamia means the land between the rivers. Actually, what is the meaning of Mesopotamia? It means that it is the land in between the rivers, and hence it is named as what? Mesopotamian civilization. This region was ruled by, see who all have ruled this region? Sumerians, Babylonians, Hittites, Assyrians and Neo-Babylonians. These are the one who have ruled this Mesopotamian civilization. Now let us study about its political history of Mesopotamian civilization. Political history. What they have given? Sumerians were responsible for one of the first civilization in this region. Who were responsible for the civilization in this region, especially in this Mesopotamian civilization? That is Sumerians. They were responsible for the first civilization in this region. Fine. So these are the two important cities that flourished here. And then later what happened? Actually, Sumerians, they used a cuneiform system of writing on wet clay slates. What is that cuneiform system of writing? Writing in the form of logos or writing in the form of symbols. That is called as what? That is cuneiform system of writing that was used by Sumerians. They used this cuneiform system of writing on what things? On the wet clay slates. And then what happened? Mesopotamians were in contact with Indians. See, these Mesopotamians, they were in contact with the Indians. The Akkadians ruled after Sumerians. So after the end of Sumerians, who started ruling? Akkadians started ruling. They were conquered and destroyed by the barbarians. After this Akkadians, that is after Sumerians, Akkadians came, and then after Akkadians, these barbarians, they conquered over this. Later, Amorites, another Semitic tribe, ruled from Babylonia. See, one more tribe, that is Amorites, they ruled from Babylonia. They brought the Akkadian state under their control. So what these Babylonia did, they brought this Akkadian state under their control and they established a large state. Now next we are going to study about Hammurabi. What is it? Hammurabi. He is the most famous king among Babylonians. Who is Hammurabi? Hammurabi first. Actually, we can say that he is the most famous king. Famous king among whom? Among Babylonia. Among Babylonians. Hammurabi, he is the famous king among the Babylonians. He was famous for his code of laws. Why he was famous? Hammurabi, he was famous for the laws he had used, or for the code of laws he used to follow. What kind of laws he used to follow? He used to follow, his code of laws is based on ideas like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. See, what was the code of this Hammurabi? What was his law? He used to say that an eye for an eye. Like for example, if two people fight, and while fighting, one if it takes the eyes, the another can also take an eye. If someone slaps, the other also gets the right to slap. Like that code of law he used to follow. That is an eye for an eye and a hand for and a tooth for a tooth. Babylonian rule was followed by Kassite and Hittite races who ruled for some time. After these Babylonians, Kassite and Hittites, they ruled for some time. And next we shall study about Ashurbanipal. What it is? Ashurbanipal. Let us study about him. Assyrians defeated Hittites. See what Hittites. What happened? These Assyrians, they defeated or they won over these Hittites and ruled Mesopotamia. After they have conquered over these Hittites, they ruled Mesopotamia. Ashurbanipal was the last great king of Assyrian. What happened actually? Ashurbanipal, who was he? Ashurbanipal, he was the last great king. Last great king of what? Of Assyrian. Of Assyrian. He was the last great king of Assyrian. He was a brave warrior and also a poet. See, Ashurbanipal, he was a great warrior, but not only a great warrior, but also he was a poet. He found a royal library, founded a royal library. What was the name of that royal library, or where did he found that? He found that at Nineveh. That is Ashurbanipal. He founded a library at Nineveh. Next, we will study about whom? Now we are going to study about Nebuchadnezzar. Who is he? We are going to next study about Nebuchadnezzar. How we can write it? It is Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar. After Assyrians, another Semitic tribe, the Chaldeans. See, after Assyrians, there was another Semitic tribe called as what? Chaldeans. They re-established Babylonia. Chaldeans, what they did again, they re-established that Babylonia. Nebuchadnezzar was the greatest king among them. What happened? Nebuchadnezzar, he was the greatest king. After re-establishing, he was the greatest king among them. He created hanging gardens, which was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. What he did? He created what? He created, we all know there exist hanging gardens, right? That is was created by him only. He created hanging garden, which was one of the 7 wonders of the world. That is, Nebuchadnezzar, what he did? He created the hanging gardens, and they are one among the 7 wonders of the world. Finally, about 2500 years ago, Emperor Cyrus conquered the city of Babylonia, which resulted in the downfall of Mesopotamia. So at last what happened? Around 2500 years ago, what happened actually? Emperor, whose name is Cyrus, he again conquered the city of Babylonia, and that resulted in the downfall of this Mesopotamian civilization. Now let us study the contribution of Mesopotamian civilization. What it is? Mesopotamians were the first to adopt the code of laws in the world. See, these Mesopotamians, they were the first to take, or they were the first to practice, we can say, or we can say they were the first to adopt this law of code. And that in the entire world they were the first to adopt it. Hammurabi was the first ruler to enforce the code of laws. Who was the first? Mesopotamians were the first. Among them, who did that? Hammurabi. He used this law of code. What was his law of code? Eye to eye and a tooth to tooth. That was his law of code. They were the first to bring this law of code. He had prohibited abuse of slaves in his code of law. See, he had prohibited, means those slaves were not allowed to be what? They were not allowed to be abused. If someone abused them, they used to get the punishment under this law of code. Mesopotamians had established trade relationship with Harappa and Egyptian civilization. See, Mesopotamians, what they did? They established trade. They established a transport system between which two civilizations? Between Harappan civilization and Egyptian civilizations. Each city had a guardian deity, as in Egypt. See, like that of in Egypt, these cities also had the guardian deity. High-raised temples named ziggurat were built here. See, in the Mesopotamian civilization, a type of high-raised temples were built, and they were called as what? They are called as ziggurat. Cuneiform script was used by these people. I have already said what we mean by cuneiform system of writing, that is the logo system of writing that was used by these Mesopotamian people. Gilgamesh is a great epic poem of Mesopotamians. See, there is a great epic poem of Mesopotamians. What it is called? It is called as Gilgamesh. Now next, let us study about these Chinese civilization. We first studied about Egyptian civilization, then we studied about Mesopotamian civilization. Now we are going to study about Chinese civilization. What is the third civilization? It is Chinese civilization. Chinese civilization. Or we can write Chinese civilization. The country that lies to the east of India is China. The country which is lying on the east part of India, that is what? It is China. The yellow complexioned Mongolian tribes are the ancestors of these people. Who are the ancestors of these people? They are yellow complexioned Mongolian tribes. They are called as their ancestors or their forefathers. Yangtze, Saikiang and Yongho rivers are the prominent rivers of this region. Which are the prominent rivers of this region? They are Yangtze, Saikiang and Yongho. These are the important rivers of those region. So they are called the cradles of the Chinese civilization. These rivers are called as what? Cradles. They are the reason why this Chinese civilization is formed. That's why they are called the cradles of Chinese civilization. Initially they ruled from the villages. Gradually they developed foreign trade by growing paddy and silk. See what these people did. They basically started ruling from villages and they gradually increased. How did they gradually increased? By trading of or by foreign trade of growing paddy and silk. Political history. Let us study about the political history of this Chinese civilization. The first ruling family was the Shang dynasty. Which was the first ruling family of this Chinese civilization? It is Shang dynasty. It ruled in the period between 18th century BCE and the 12th century BCE. See, when did they rule? In between which centuries? In between 18th century BCE and in between the 12th century BCE. The prosperity of Shang people depended on agriculture. The Shang dynasty, it was entirely depending upon what? It was depending upon agriculture. The Chinese had mastered the craft of producing bronze and porcelain dishes. See, Chinese, they had got the master in preparing a kind of dishes called as dishes made up of bronze and those dishes made up of porcelain. The Shang dynasty was replaced by Zhou dynasty which ruled for a longer time. See, soon after Shang dynasty, there was another dynasty called Zhou dynasty. They ruled for a longer time during this Chinese civilization. Wu Wang was the famous king of Zhou dynasty. Who was the famous king of Zhou dynasty? It was Wu Wang. The well-known philosopher Confucius and Lao Tzu lived in this period. See, one of the most well-known philosopher whose names are two philosophers whose names are Confucius and Lao Tzu. They lived in this period, that is in the period of Zhou dynasty. Qin dynasty came to power after Zhou dynasty. First was Shang dynasty, after that Zhou dynasty, after Zhou dynasty it was Qin dynasty. The name China is derived from Qin dynasty. From where did this name of China came? It came from this Qin dynasty. Chai Huang Tai. Let us study about Chai Huang Tai. He was a famous king of Qin dynasty. Who was Chai Huang Tai? He was the famous king of Qin dynasty. He unified China and brought it under a uniform law. See, he united China and brought under one same uniform law. He is called as the first emperor of China. See, Chai Huang Tai of Qin dynasty, he is called as as first emperor of China. He built a 1500-mile long Great Wall of China to protect China from the onslaught of enemies. Actually, who has built this Great Wall of China? That is Chai Huang Tai. He built this Great Wall of China. Why he built this Great Wall of China? To protect China from its enemies. China was ruled by Han dynasty after Qin dynasty. After Qin dynasty, who ruled China? That was ruled by Han Dynasty. This period considered as the golden age in China, that is Han Dynasty. Whatever the period of this Han Dynasty was there, that is called as what? Golden period, golden age in China. Now let us study about Wu Tai. He was the famous king of Han Dynasty who established a vast empire. Wu Tai, who was he? He was the famous king of Han Dynasty. What he did? He established a vast big empire. Foreign trade gained importance under his rule. See what happened? Foreign trade, it started taking importance or getting more importance during his rule. That is in the Wu Tai rule. There was a great demand for silk in Rome. As a result, the trade route between China and Rome became famous as the Silk Route. What happened? Rome, the people of Rome, they were more in need of silk, and that is why China, they started supplying silk, and there was a route between trade of route between China and Rome, and that route is called as the Silk Route. Buddhism entered China during this period. See, during this trade, what happened? Buddhism, they entered into the China. Art and literature received great patronage during the rule of Han Dynasty. What happened now? Art and literature started gaining more and more importance during this rule of Han Dynasty. Hence, this period is known as the golden age in the Chinese history. Because the art and literature got more importance during this Han Dynasty, that is why this period or this age is called as what? Golden age in the history of Chinese. During the rule of Sung Dynasty, which came to power after Han Dynasty, wood printing press and production of porcelain dishes started. See, after Han Dynasty, there was a dynasty called Sung Dynasty. In that Sung Dynasty, what came into existence? Wood printing presses came into existence and production of porcelain dishes started. The Mongolians ended the rule of Sung Dynasty by conquering Peking, the capital of Sung Dynasty, where it is today's Beijing, the capital of China. Who ended this Sung Dynasty? Mongolians. They captured the capital of their Sung Dynasty, that is Peking, the capital of Sung Dynasty, which is today called as Beijing, the capital of China. And thus what happened? The Sung Dynasty came to end. Now let us study a few of the contributions of these Chinese civilization. The contribution of the Chinese to the ancient world was remarkable. See, whatever the contribution of Chinese is there, it is most remarkable in the history. It has left its most remarks. They introduced tea and silk to the world. See, Chinese, what they did, they introduced tea and silk to the world. In addition to this, the inventions like paper made of bamboo, explosive, painting brush, porcelain and mariner's compass goes to the credit of Chinese. See, there is so much of contribution of people of China to the world. What all they have conquered, they have contributed. Not only they have introduced tea and silk to the world, but also their additional inventions are like those papers made up of bamboo, and then explosives, what all are used, they were the one to introduce that, and then painting brushes, porcelain, and of course mariner's compass was all introduced. All this credit go to the Chinese. They used pictographic script to write. What type of script they used? They used pictographic script of writing. They used to write on bamboo slips vertically from top to bottom. How they used to write? Actually, on these bamboo sticks vertically from top to bottom. Lazi and Confucius enriched the field of philosophy. See, who enriched the field of philosophy? Lazi and Confucius. They enriched the field of philosophy. Laozi taught simple living, sacrifice and harmonious relationship with nature. See, Laozi, he taught so many good things. What all he taught? He taught simple living and sacrifice and harmonious, means maintaining good relationship with the nature. Confucius re-established the lost moral and social values in the society. What happened actually? Confucius, he re-established whatever the values were lost in the society, he re-established those lost moral and social values in the society. So, this is all about Chinese civilization. So, dear students, in this session we have learnt about 3 civilizations, that is the Egypt civilization, Mesopotamian civilization and Chinese civilization. I hope you all are following it and I hope you all are studying. Stay safe. Thank you.